Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94 here, back with another reaction video. And today we finna react to what was really in those pies. This is by the sitcom guy. Shout out to him. He showed love to the channel, so we're gonna show that love right back. Make sure y'all go subscribe to his channel. Bring the likes up, the views up, the comments up, subscribers up over there on his channel. And yeah, man, without further ado, man, let's get right into it.
All right, so today I want to talk about the Jamie Foxx show and one episode in particular that I always found interesting and hilarious, but more so interesting. Now, if you're not familiar with this show, then basically the show is about Jamie, his aunt and uncle, and they run a hotel. Stuff happens, and that's basically the show. The episode in question here is titled "We Finally Got a Piece of the Pie," which is season 1, episode 5. And this episode is so interesting because, of course, it's about pie, but it's what's in those pies that makes this episode feels so weird, because throughout this entire episode we start seeing that these are not normal pies. You know, you'll see from the way people react to them, the way that they fiend for them. I mean, you'll see in a minute when we get into it. But before we start theorizing about what's actually in these pies, let's kind of talk about the plot of the episode a little bit so we can kind of get some context here. So the episode starts out with Jamie and Fancy working in the restaurant area of the hotel, and immediately something feels off about this scene because there's literally people outside of the restaurant beating on the windows and doors like a horde of zombies out there, and the people inside are angry and yelling for more pie. And Jamie basically tells them to chill out and he'll get them some more, but then our boy Dennis walks out with one singular slice and says that it's the last one.
There's no more pie. See, this is the last slice right here.
And immediately the entire restaurant starts losing their mind. They start a bidding war, and you know, one dude even offers like $75 for one slice of this pie.
It must be some good ass pie.
Potato pie, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but it's supposed to be sweet potato pie. I mean, $75. This is 1996 also. $75 for a piece of pie. Like, what is in this pie, right? And then somehow this scene gets even crazier because Dennis then just snatches the pie and runs off with it, which causes the entirety of the restaurant to chase after him. Do you realize how insanely good this pie has to be for those people to act in this manner? I mean, they basically just turn into animals here. And so this fades into the intro, and after the intro we come back and Jamie and Fancy are talking to Helen and Junior about what happened in the restaurant earlier and how the pies kind of caused it. And this is where this whole thing starts getting real suspicious, because Fancy asks where did she get the recipe, and Helen explains that,
oh, it was handed down by my mama, who got it from her mama, who got it from her mama, who jacked her great aunt Kizzy for it.
Which means that whatever's in these pies could potentially have been around since the late 1800s, early 1900s. And you know, that'll be important later. But Jamie also notices how weird they're acting about the recipe, and he even comes right out and says,
y'all act like y'all making moonshine or stuff. You know, it's just some more pie.
Because I mean, they really do feel like a couple of people that are doing something illegal here. I mean, they're being so secretive about what's in it, and not only that, but they're telling Jamie to not eat the pies.
Listen to me a minute, okay? Because I've been through this. Once you eat them, you're hooked.
Again, I'm sitting here like, this is sweet potato pie. I love sweet potato pie as much as the next guy. But
I don't like
what
pie.
do you mean I shouldn't eat any? Aren't we family?
I'm not a pie person.
Isn't this a family tradition? Why would we not be eating the pie? I don't get that. And you know, this kind of makes Jamie and Fancy want to try it even more. But before they can go and do that, our boy Dennis comes stumbling out of the elevator, and this guy is looking horrible. He's sweating, he's twitching, he looks sleep deprived, he's got pie all over his face, and he's carrying a VCR, right? And he ends up trying to trade it for another slice of pie.
I'll give you this VCR right here. Just give me a piece of pie.
And you know, maybe younger viewers might not realize how insane that this is, but in 1996 a VCR was extremely valuable. I mean, that was your home media right there. Like, you know, there was no DVD players. You know, this was basically your home entertainment system, and this man is trying to trade it away for one slice of pie. What are we talking about here? And somehow, after seeing all this, Jamie pitches the idea of mass producing them and selling them as a business opportunity, which sounds like a good idea in theory agree, but Helen and Junior don't want any part of this. Helen says that she only makes the pies out of love and doesn't want to exploit them. But this actually doesn't make any sense because they were just selling it in the restaurant. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand the logic here. I mean, again,
You
this
selling
is
them
even
though.
more suspicious because she's making a limited amount of the pie, and now she's saying that she only makes it out of love and doesn't want to exploit them, but she's literally selling it in her restaurant and telling Jamie and Fancy, she's telling them to not eat it. So how is this made out of love? And you know, who are these pies even for? You know, regardless, Jamie reveals that he kind of promised somebody an order of 25 pies for a wedding, and Helen and Junior are pretty mad about this, but they reluctantly agree to go ahead and help him out for the extra cash. So we cut to later on, and it's Fancy and Jamie and Helen and Junior, and they're in the kitchen and they're all working together to make these pies, which Jamie's not really doing anything. He's just sitting there yelling at everybody. But regardless, they stay up all night trying to finish this order, but eventually everybody gets so exhausted they kind of just go to bed and they leave Jamie alone to finish up the pies. And before Junior leaves, he reiterates and warns Jamie to not taste the filling.
Whatever you do, please don't taste that pie.
Hey man, don't worry about me. I'll handle mine. I'll handle it.
And while everybody's asleep, Jamie accidentally gets a bit of this filling on his thumb and it's over. You know, he's hooked immediately. And this is, you know, that first hit moment, because immediately after tasting it, he loses all self-control here. He starts spiraling. You know, he's already sleep deprived at this point, but you know, he's also now tweaking on the pie, which what? But he's pacing around.
How you tweaking? You just ate it.
He's talking to himself. He's acting very erratic. He's scratching, and eventually he starts hallucinating and thinking that the pies are talking to him. And eventually Jamie completely crashes out and eats all the pies, right?
Don't you want me?
I want you, but I can't have you.
Devour me, Jamie. Devour me now.
Hey, yo.
And I didn't mention this earlier, but while they were making the 25 pies, the client ended up calling and upping the order to 75 pies. This would mean that he easily ate over 30 pies. I mean, at least over 30 by himself in one sitting. That is insane, dog. Like, what are we doing here?
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Wearing shades, avoiding eye contact with people, and you know, looking like he just survived a couple days at Vegas. You know, he's paranoid, he's looking around, he looks ashamed, and he's trying to hide kind of what went down, right? And even telling Fancy that if a client comes looking for the pies, tell him that she ain't seen them, which, you know, she's already standing behind him, so it's, you know, it's kind of whatever at that point. And at this point in the episode, he's basically screwed, but then Helen comes out with an entire new batch of the 75 pies that she made that morning, somehow finishing that in a few hours. I mean, they had freaking 4 people on deck and couldn't finish all those pies in time. And somehow she was able to finish it on her own. She apparently got up at 5 in the morning to finish them. All in all, everything works out. And
all right, Jamal, we'll holler at you.
Comes up here at the end and basically asks her, you know, what we've all been wondering this entire episode, which is,
One question. What is it that you put in these pies that just hook people so fast?
and Helen looks this man dead in the eyes and says,
If I tell you, I'll have to kill you.
and this is honestly the point where I'm fully convinced that there are drugs in these pies. Think about it. Helen and Junior never actually eat any of the pie themselves, even after claiming that these are made out of love and these are a family recipe. But you never see them indulge in it, and they actively avoid it. Junior does not want any of the pie, and he tells anybody that comes in contact with it, he tells them to not eat the pie. So that doesn't make sense. Helen refuses to reveal the ingredients to this thing, and both of them clearly understand the effects that these pies have on people. So the question becomes, not only is there drugs, but what type of drug are we dealing with here? back in the pie making scene when they're all in the kitchen, I tried to look around and see what I could see there. You know, you can see sugar, you can see eggs, possibly cinnamon, you can see, you know, some sweet potatoes, but there's also a lot of the containers are just kind of unlabeled and fuzzy, so it's really hard to tell. But for the most part, everything looks really normal here. And again, by the end of the episode, Jamie still seems to not know what's actually in the filling of the pie. So I'm assuming even in that scene that Helen, whatever she added, she was adding it in off screen, or she was adding it in where nobody else could see her. But regardless, I couldn't find really anything concrete there. And I don't think there was any, because again, none of the other characters, while helping make the pies, were able to tell what was in it.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Just trying to base it on behavior, right? Looking at the behavior, these symptoms line up with some type of stimulant, obviously. And everybody who eats the pies becomes hyper focused, euphoric, obsessive, irrational, desperate. And these pies behave exactly like an exaggerated 90s depiction of crack cocaine. But there's one problem with that theory, and that is that crack didn't exist yet when this recipe was supposedly created. When Helen says that, again, she got it from her grandmother, and her grandmother got it from her great aunt. I mean, we're talking way before crack was ever.
Oh no, did she put voodoo in that shit? If that's the case, she put voodoo in that shit. Hell no. Hell no, she put voodoo in that shit.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
That shit got voodoo in it. She put a spell on that shit before she make it. Hell no. Probably broke a chicken. She probably broke a chicken neck and then took the eggs and then made the shit with it.
Even in existence here, which pushes this theory closer to straight cocaine instead. Now, the logistics of the rapid onset of the effects of these pies kind of leans more heavy to it being full of amphetamines or something like that, but the timeline just doesn't really make sense there, because if this recipe is truly from the late 1800s or the early 1900s, amphetamines just weren't really available like that, and you know, nobody really knew about them.
Voodoo, she put them roots in that shit.
Substance, but it wasn't put to use in any way, and it wasn't available to the public, right? Cocaine, on the other hand, totally was, and it was available and very commonly put in a lot of products, you know, just normal products, right? Even though the onset of it seems a little bit logistically off, I think this is just because of the sitcom logic and you know, just trying to add this exaggerated comedic effect. And yes, I know I'm looking too deep into this, but that's literally what I do here. All right, so overall, I think that with the timeline, the substance that makes the most sense to be in these pies is just 100% cocaine. But hey, that's just my theory. That's just my theory. And honestly, you know, I don't think the writers realized how insane this premise actually was. I mean, I know it's supposed to be goofy and funny and kind of this metaphor for a crack addiction, I suppose. But at the end of the day, we're probably never gonna know what was in these. It was left ambiguous on purpose, and the writers have never actually said anything about it. But to this day, this episode baffles me, because it completely changes the way that I look at Aunt Helen's character. You know, what is she really getting into, and what is she putting in these pies? Let me know y'all's theories in the comments. I want to know what you guys think she's putting in there, if anything at all, or does it just does it just taste that good, right? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Peace out.
Alrighty, man, that's just gonna about do it for this one. Most definitely. Hey, Helen was putting voodoo roots in that shit. She was casting spells over that shit. That's what that was. But I digress. So, but anyway, so that's just gonna about do it for this one. I'll see y'all in the next video. Till then, deuces.